You can talk about economics and the culture of capitalism, but you can also talk about mass media and the way in which celebrity culture has started to devour the formerly dismal science of economics. That investment in economics has become a form of mass media entertainment. And in the process, it is ruining people's lives. The comment in the top left of the screen here is hiding in my room, this YouTuber, trying to clarify that he's not joking. This isn't satire. He really is financially ruined after heavily investing in the following 4 stocks. Back in January of 2021, all 4 had a meteoric rise. And then, after a short period of time, and after they stopped being overhyped and celebrated in the mass media, they fell down to earth, ruining this young man's personal fortune along with them.
Do you remember last year I made a video titled, I invested $35,000 into the stock market and everyone was calling me crazy and saying that I was gambling my money. Turns out they were right and I ended up losing pretty much all of that money. I remember I got into stocks first last year around October when I was living in Rotterdam, when I was with Lida, and when I was gaining lots of money and my investments were doing really well, I felt so great inside. I felt like I'm actually good at this. I felt like I was good at investing, even though I had only just started. I felt like I was some kind of stock genius. I was picking stocks and following stock suggestions and just putting my money into them, and then after a few weeks or a few months, they were up 10, 20%, 30%, and I was making thousands. And I felt so great. I felt like I didn't need YouTube anymore. I felt like this is my next true calling. My next step in life is to become like a pro stock trader. I still feel hopeful that I won't lose all of the money. I still feel hopeful that my stocks eventually will go back up. This week I got hit again by more bad news because bloody Elon Musk decided to tweet that he doesn't like Bitcoin anymore. And guess who decided to put the rest of his remaining money on Bitcoin? Me. I lost the money I got from my dad's life insurance payout. I lost my OnlyFans money. I lost the money that I earned from destroying and sacrificing my marriage and relationships and my dignity and my self-respect, and that was all for nothing now because I don't even have the money to show for it. At least if I sacrificed my marriage and relationships and dignity, I could have said, yeah, well, I've got all this money, so whatever. I can't even say that now because I don't even have the money. And I lost everyone in my life, and I lost like half my viewers on my channel because basically I said, F you to the viewers, don't need you guys anymore because I'm so rich from my stocks. I had about £12,000, which is, I don't know, $16,000, $17,000. I had about £12,000 in gains, and I could have locked in the gains and I'd be up. I would have made like £12,000, which would have been amazing. But I got greedy and I kept thinking, oh no, it's going to go up more. I have to wait. This is a really good stock to be in, that's why it's going up so much. And I kept thinking, oh, I just want to make 20,000 and then I'll sell. I want to make 30,000 and then I'll sell. I want to reach 100,000 this year and then I'll sell and then stop doing such risky investing. And the greed just kind of took over me and I refused to sell, even when I was watching it drop and drop and drop.
I'm a nihilist. And as such, I'm very sensitive to, very skeptical of, the use of moral language in modern discourse and the way in which religious concepts and attitudes creep into secular life. Whenever I talk to people who are so-called atheist activists, I'd have to say to them one way or another, look, what you call atheism just isn't enough. Because people can be an atheist and they can still believe in meditation, and they can still believe in yoga, and they can still believe in rock crystals, they can still believe in ghosts, they can still live in a world that's infested with ghosts. and they can perceive the world in terms of abstractions and moral commitments they've made that are really quite religious in nature. What I see happening with the interaction between YouTube and the stock market is not the emergence of a religion. It's people adopting religious attitudes towards real-world problems in a manner that moralizes what should be entirely pragmatic decision-making.
And there's something that I think is just massive, and it's a reason that I'm emergency wiring money over into my stockbroker so that I can buy as much of a certain stock as possible.
This is the stock that he claimed would quintuple in value. I'm sure you noticed the title of the video was claiming that it was going to quintuple in value this year. You'll hear him in just a moment now clarify that he thinks it will at least triple in value or quintuple in value within 1 year, but that it is much more likely, in his opinion, to increase by 10 times, to increase 10 to 1 in the space of 1 year. And you are looking at the chart right now of what actually happened to this stock. He made that prediction, he made that commitment on February 27th of 2021. And you tell me what the consequences are for him as a YouTuber, for him as a man, for him, if you have any sense of personal integrity, what are the consequences for you when you've come on the internet and made such a preposterous claim that proved to be false?
Stick around for a deep dive into a stock that I think is going to do at least a 3x multiple by the end of the year, but I think more like a 5 to a 10x multiple.
What I hear from Brian Turner, vegan bodybuilder turned amateur stock market analyst, Brian Turner, is that he believes in this company, that it's a good company, that he feels he has a moral commitment to keep on supporting this or that company, several companies he says, but even when their stock market price goes down. And he believes in the future of these particular companies to make money. And it's blind faith because he has no understanding at all of how they make money, of why this would be a good or a bad year in that particular market, or why this would be a good or a bad decade coming up for that business.
So let's talk about what stock that I'm about to YOLO all of my money into and make a big all or nothing bet on, because I think it's going to do extremely well this year. So the stock that I'm talking about that I'm extremely bullish on, it is ticker symbol SPSE, space. This is Virgin Galactic. In my opinion, I think the stock can make it well past $80 by the end of this year, and I'll give you my price targets for next year.
One of the businesses that Hiding in My Room invested in, their technology is to make microscopic mirrors mounted on a tiny motor that lets the mirror tilt back and forth. Sound like a highly profitable business to you in 2021? Well, the use of this sort of tiny mirror is to reflect a laser to scan a barcode. This is not the only use. It can be used for a variety of laser scanning and laser projection activities. To have a very accurate, very fast-moving, very small mirror. How much do you know about that business? How much could you possibly understand, with or without doing research, to come up with a projection of how good or bad an investment that is over the long term? Now, this YouTuber, if you've never heard of him before, Hiding in My Room, his distinctive trait is that he is honest about things that other people are dishonest about. And that makes his YouTube channel somewhat interesting, even though he lives a life that is frankly very boring. And he was brutally honest about what his method of research was before choosing which stocks to invest in when he was playing the stock market. He would just go around to the most popular YouTubers and he would listen to the stocks that they were hyping up. And he defended this at some length as being a good or a great method of doing stock market research, and he recommended it to you in the audience. The role of faith, blind faith, belief, and imagining yourself as being engaged in making a moral judgment and engaging in a kind of moral exercise, making the world a better place. That you, yes, you, have chosen a good company. And you are going to be rewarded for supporting that good company in the good work that they do because you're a good person. In this sense, again, it's not a religion, but it's a completely pragmatic area of human problem solving that religious attitudes start to creep into. And there's this strange moralization of what these people are doing, often enough leading to them bankrupting themselves, but not all the time. So Brian Turner just lived through the collapse of the stock market price for Virgin Galactic. This YouTube video will probably be demonetized and censored because I just said the words Virgin Galactic. It's not as naughty as it sounds. This is a space tourism project. Now, how much do you know about the potential profitability of space tourism? I'd say that's somewhat harder to research than microscopic mirrors used to reflect laser rays. The irony is here, let's just contrast this to part of the stock market I think everyone in my audience understands quite well. Video games. Video games are high tech, but all of you probably have a sense of, oh yeah, well this is how video games make money, like selling the actual games. You understand the nature of the entertainment, you understand the nature of the demand, and you have some feeling that any given year might be good for Nintendo, but bad for the Sony PlayStation. You have a sense of what the giants are moving around in the market. You may even have a sense of what the niche markets are. Oh, well, there's retro gaming and there's mobile phone gaming and how they fit together and how success in one area means failure in another. You have no idea what the names of the other manufacturers of microscopic mirrors are. You don't know the competing technologies. It doesn't have to be done with a mirror. There's more than one way to do that. There's more than one way to scan a barcode. There's more than one way to scan a QR code, right? You have no idea. I remember I went through this when I was doing analysis of the rubber market. I talked to these so-called experts because I'd done some research on it. And they did not realize what the alternative products were. Rubber is not the only way to make a seal on a jar, guys. You know what I'm saying? There's more than one sticky plastic substance here competing for the same type of manufacturing, right? You know none of this about space travel or about reflective mirrors, right? You're caught up in mass media hype. And then you start to moralize the decision. I'm a good person because I'm supporting, the future of space exploration or something like this. You have no idea how much revenue this could make in the next 5 years, next 10 years, or what the threats to that revenue stream might be, what the alternatives, what the competition are, so on and so forth. So it is peculiar that they're not investing in something they might feel comfortable with, like Nintendo. You might feel you understand the risks and opportunities and you have some sense of, is this going to be a good year for Nintendo? Is Nintendo going to expand their business, or as successful as they are they now going into a sunset phase where they're going to contract? Brian Turner, vegan bodybuilder turned stock market investment analyst. Brian Turner. He defends his decision to buy and hold, to support Virgin Galactic, by presenting you with a series of if statements followed by the best case scenario imaginable. And what's telling to me is that every single positive projection he's making doesn't have to do with income, doesn't have to do with providing a service no other company can provide, or providing a service 10% better than their competition can provide it. No, it's not based on actually reading financial reports or projections or analysis of so-called fundamentals, i.e. reality. No. His view of the future is a series of press junkets in which they're going to have launches and testings, and they're going to have celebrity endorsements. They're going to have famous celebrities get on this rocket ship and go into orbit and then come back down and do interviews and take Instagram photos of themselves and say how wonderful it was, and that this will propel ahead the value of the price on the stock market. And the sad part is, we all know there's a sense in which he's right.
I do think that the celebrity thing is really what's going to push it. Now, it's hard right now to see that, but if you stick around for the long run, in my opinion, that's what we're going to be seeing, and I think that is going to be a huge price catalyst.
If you were investing in a stock for a period of just 5 days or just 30 days, the fact that a celebrity has said something positive about that brand, or that there's been an announcement from the CEO that the press attended with some kind of spectacle, like a rocket ship taking off or landing or what have you, that can, in the short term, cause a stock to rise in value. If you are day trading, you might be interested in the effect that could have on the stock price for 6 hours. But it's mysterious to me that all of these people instead moralize the commitment they're making on the basis of this mass media hype, this form of economic entertainment. I can't even say edutainment, because at the end of it, you end up more ignorant than you were at the beginning. They want to take this kind of short-term speculative activity in response to mass media hype and moralize it into a long-term commitment where they believe in the company and they remain committed to the company and they imagine they're making the world a better place through this commitment, and they stick with it even when the value of the stock tanks.
All right, Virgin Galactic, you guys have asked for an update with what's going on with this stock and what is going to happen in the future, because a lot of people have been losing faith and losing patience as this stock continues to tumble and tumble. I'm still investing. I'm still holding. I am not scared at all. Of course, like I said, it's painful to see it go down, but I have no faith shaken or anything like that.
Maybe we can practice